So excited to say Nigel Farage joins us this evening, and we've got plenty to talk about with the host from GB News, of course, the leader of Brexit and a great freedom lover all over the shop, who no doubt noticed that a so-called Conservative government got flushed at the last election here in Australia on the weekend, and a bit of an empty suit. I call him Aussie Joe Biden becomes our Prime Minister after hiding during the election campaign. G'day, Nigel.
Yes, hello there. Interesting, isn't it? You know, I woke up to Labour win in Australia as if there'd been some sort of seismic shift to the left in politics. And then I looked at the numbers. On the first preference votes, Albanese got almost exactly the same number that Labour's Jeremy Corbyn here in the UK got in 2019. Right. And that was considered the worst Labour result in Britain since 1935. So it all goes to show it depends what electoral system you have. Whichever way you cut it, this is not a dramatic win for Labour in Australia. And the moral of the story, of course, is that when Conservative governments stop being Conservative, they lose.
So also there's a conversation amongst, the future of the Liberal Party here about, culture wars and Conservative fighting. Something that I don't think people understand is that the left turn around and talk about standing up for values and belittle them as things like culture wars. But I believe that many of the people watching us right now who've lived a full life did a pretty good thing with our country, and they deserve people who want to defend it. It's the radicals who want to reverse everything about what previous generations have done that are the ones fighting a culture war.
Yeah, I mean, look, what you've got is this new form of Marxism, basically, which wants to tear down everything we've ever stood for, everything the generations that went before us fought, sacrificed so much to defend, and they want to get rid of it all and replace it with some sort of extraordinary new world order. They are the self-haters, and here's the point. Whether it's Australia, whether it's the UK, whether it's the USA, you have got a big chunk of voters who normally would be on the left of the spectrum, but who are patriotic, who are proud of their families' histories. And it's when Conservative parties can galvanise those that they win. I mean, I remember John Howard saying to me a few years ago at a dinner that no Conservative party can win without blue-collar support. So this is a chance for the Australian Liberal Party to rethink itself, to understand what it is, to move away from being big state, pro-lockdown and all the rest of it. And if they do that, they can come sweeping back at the next election.
Well, again, I've been trying to tell everyone no win is forever, conversely no loss is forever. But also what we're seeing, say, in the United States, where, obviously Trump the most obvious example, but it's happening, of course, with primaries, governors, most likely going to happen at the midterms, is that the groups that the left have taken for granted are starting to break off and stand up for themselves and vote for people that will stand up for values, like Hispanics in the United States, who are starting to trend Republican. Because, funnily enough, if you're somebody who's of deep Catholic faith, you probably shouldn't keep voting Democrat, who want to eradicate any of the values that those people hold even dearer than supposedly the staunch Catholic of Joe Biden.
Yes, I would even eradicate the definitions of what a man and woman is. I mean, it's all very confusing at times. And yes, the Hispanics are doing that. And look, in this country, I mean, once the British Conservative Party have been kicked hard enough by me and embraced Brexit, they won an 80-seat majority.
Exactly.
And they got that from working class people in the Midlands and the North, people coming from families who actually had been voting for the Labour Party for almost 100 years, since the end of the First World War. And yet they're patriots, they believe in proper border controls, they don't want their kids in school being taught some of this nonsense about our histories. So the lessons are there for all to see. If you're going to be a Conservative Party, be patriotic, be proud, be a Conservative Party, and be on the side of the little people, not just the global corporations.
Yeah, bloody-o. Thank you so much, Piers. He's got a great podcast, which, of course, you can listen to or watch his show via GB News on Flash. He had a great discussion about a crazy new tax that's coming in to the UK. It was a fascinating chat. Well, always a good show I'll have to check out. Thank you so much, Nigel. Nigel Farage there in the UK.